All right, what's up, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, it is a pleasure to talk to you guys on this wonderful Sunday. We are here today to talk about the Atlanta Falcons' eighth pick in this year's draft. That means we are 25% way through this mock draft process. That's how quick it goes, and then pretty soon we're going to hit our super show the Sunday before the draft in regards of, having some people on, doing a mock draft for all 32 teams. So hopefully you guys tune in that here the Sunday before the draft. But today it is all about the Atlanta Falcons. And on Instagram Live, we're going to have my good buddy, Brandon. And there he is, the man of the hour. Brandon, what is going on, man? I am doing good, man. How are you doing today? I understand. I get it. I get it, man. I understand. But as always, man, I am so happy that you're here today. Hopefully, we get to have some fun with this episode today because, like I was telling them, it is pick number 8, which means we are 25% done. We are 25% through of the draft already. That's just how quick it goes, man. So today, the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. I know that you've been ready for this. I've been ready for this because, obviously I'm going to spill my guts out here to the whole Atlanta Falcons staff and everything, and then they're just not going to listen to me when they should have listened to me. They would have probably had 4 or 5 All Pros on their roster already. But who the hell am I? I'm just a guy with an Angels t-shirt. Who the hell am I? So, Brandon, are you ready to get this started? All right, let's get through it then. Atlanta picking here at number 8 after finishing 7-10. Not the Arthur Smith's finest moment, and we'll get to that later. But after finishing 7-10, 26th in total offense, 18th on defense. Now, what kills me is the offense part. What kills me is the offense part, right? Like, you know, Brendan will tell you. If you know who I am, people will tell you that I've tried to help the Atlanta Falcons, but they are the true definitions that you can't help them if they don't want to help themselves. One year you have a chance to draft a once in a lifetime generational defensive player that you can build around. You can draft not one but maybe two generational talents at wide receiver that can change your whole landscape. You can actually uh, try to get a once in a lifetime generational talent on defense or offense last year's draft, and it just seems that they're not in the business of trying to be great. I you know it's just I have a very I just have a thing with the old regime of Atlanta, that they put this new regime in a position that they did because they have to work with it. But let's get into it. Desmond Ritter, was the passing leader of this team with 2,836 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions to go along with 193 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. He's no longer there. He got traded to Arizona for Rondell Moore. I think it was just a situation where Ritter needed a fresh start. Rondell Moore needed a fresh start, and I think in a way, I think it works out for both parties. Bijan Robinson, the first round pick last year, finished the season with 976 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 58 receptions, 487 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, what gets me about the whole Bijan Robinson stat line is I'm surprised it's that high to begin with, because Arthur Smith did everything in his power not to give him the ball. Like, he was your best offensive weapon, and you decided against your own will, eh, eh, I know we took him in the first round, but whatever. Then Drake London, of all people, 69 receptions, 905 yards, count them, two touchdowns. 0 fumbles this year. So apparently he figured out how not to fumble the football this year. Amazing. Amazing. Arthur Smith deserves to get fired. He deserved to get fired. He had a chance to turn this thing around offensively. And instead of going for Jamar Chase, he went for a Kyle Pitts. Instead of a Chris Olave, he went for a Drake London, who not every. And the thing is, he wasn't even the best receiver in that year's draft class. It hurts to talk about the Falcons, folks. It really does hurt because, the fact that you had generational talent sit in your lap every single year since Arthur Smith has been there, and they just decided to be like, nah, we're smarter than everybody in this room. The fact that you gave up Micah Parsons at 4. I mean, I know you're happy about it. Because, I'm sure you do not want to face Micah Parsons twice a year, right? Like, you're good, right? You're good with that. The fact that they passed up Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase in the same draft and drafted a tight end whose highest ceiling was Darren Waller. This is why some teams never get any recognition in the NFL, because you do shit like this. Brandon, was it time for Arthur Smith to get let go? Was it time? Yeah, I think what the final nail in the coffin was for me was when Arthur Smith, I forget what week it was, and he had Desmond Ridder take a snap, pitch it or screen it to Geno Smith. Geno Smith goes to the sidelines, tries to get it to Ty Alliger. So in one play, you decided not to use your best offensive weapons, like at all. And I think that's just, I think to me that I think that was the final nail in the coffin for me for Arthur Smith, where it's just like you're just trying to get fired at this point because you failed this franchise, like you, and that's the thing, right? I mean, people always say, well, the draft is a crapshoot. It's like, motherfucker. Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase are like one of those few exceptions. It's like it does not matter where they go; they're gonna be good. People literally said, "Oh man, poor Jamar Chase. He's going to Cincinnati. What a bummer." How many times do players get drafted in Cincinnati and they never pan out? Yeah, and then he just went on to have having one of the greatest rookie seasons in NFL history.
That whole year is still the funniest year of all time. For first of preseason, no, we can't even catch the ball. What is he gonna do when the season starts? Yeah, just break records. just break records. That's all. When no offensive line, he just breaks records. That's what he does. He's pretty good at it.
And then it was like, oh, well, you drafted Micah Parsons. Okay, cool. But is he a linebacker? Is he a defensive end? He's everything. He's everything. He's everything you need him to be.
Yeah.
So, I just hope that this new staff, there's a player that falls on your lap, just take him. Just take him.
And then the year you drafted Drake London, you just had Garrett Wilson Jr. just get drafted right after. It was just so.
That was like the sweet epitome of, man. Like, we didn't want to draft one person for the Julio Jones role. We wanted to draft two motherfuckers for the Julio Jones role. That's what we did.
And neither one of them have filled that role at all.
Like, at all. Like Atlanta Falcons have still been looking for their Julio Jones for and it's like, well, you had your chance, but you drafted Kyle Pitts over your Julio Jones. Like, that's what you did, Atlanta. That's what you did. Like, Atlanta, like, be serious with yourself. Like, be serious with yourself. But, oh well. Now, defensively, it's one of those things. It's never good when your safety leads the team in tackles because it just means like nothing went right or anywhere. Like, nothing went right anywhere. Jesse Bates leading the team with combined tackles with 132. And then he lets the team with interceptions with 6. So, I know Jesse Bates is good, but the fact that he led the team in his, tackles and he's a safety when defensive linemen and linebackers get, first cracks at it. Like that's concerning. That's concerning. Jesse Bates was truly the last line of defense for that defense. No, I'm serious. He truly was the last line. And then, you had two players led the team in sacks. One, Calais Campbell, who, in his own right, one of the veteran defensive linemen in the league for a very long time. And then a former first rounder and Bud Dupree with 6.5. And now they're free agents. So, in a way, it's sort of like they even said, Arthur Smith, no Arthur Smith, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm done. I'm done with this cult. Like, this culture, I'm done. I'm good, bro. I'm good. But I think this is where it comes in. I think this is where it finally comes together for Atlanta. I know people liked Dan Quinn. I know people in Atlanta still like Dan Quinn. But what if I were to tell you, Brandon, they got a better version of Dan Quinn? Do you remember who their interim head coach was when Dan Quinn did get fired? Do you remember their interim head coach? Yeah, Raheem Morris. And what did Atlanta do? And after the season was over, who would they give the job to? There you go. There you go. They went. They went full circle. Full circle. Full circle. They went full circle. And I wouldn't be surprised if they begged Raheem Morris to come back. Because, yeah, motherfucker, I think it'd be best if you did get him. So, Raheem Morris is now the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to be honest with you. Very interesting cast that he brought together for his staff. Zach Robinson, who we all know, he was with the Los Angeles Rams. Very tight connection with the Sean McVay tree. He's now the new offensive coordinator. And then this is a name that I haven't heard in a long time, and I'm like deeply shocked that he took this job. Jimmy Lake. And I know a lot of people are going to be asking, who the hell is Jimmy Lake? Well, before the University of Washington got this good, from now their previous head coach, who's now the new head coach of Alabama, Jimmy Lake was the University of Washington's head coach. Has been out of football since, not completely out of football, but like at a collegiate, just like, okay, like out of the public view, he's been out of football since 2021. And he's back as the new defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. So I don't know like how you feel about the staff, because I was just kind of like, okay, I get the Zach Robinson one, he's an up and coming young mind, he could be the next offensive guru, as people like to call it, and could move up to the ranks of head coach if he does really well. The Jimmy Lake one, I was kind of like, wow, that's a name I haven't heard like in 3-4 years. Like, goddamn. Like, goddamn, I haven't heard that name in a long time. So, Brandon, your honest opinion about the staff that Raheem Morris put together. I mean, what's the bar? I mean, what is the bar for the last staff? Like, be real.
Washington a little bit because we know Dan Quinn is going to coach, and we know off squad there and stuff. But that's about it. Maybe Carolina in a sense, but it's like this one might be the best one because they actually have talent.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, all those three guys I mentioned, they have put in their time. And they have been successful somewhere along the line. So, I mean, don't forget, Raheem Morris, again, was the interim head coach for Atlanta prior to Arthur Smith. And this is when Atlanta was like, Raheem Morris came in and it was like, oh, this is a totally new team, man. Yeah, I would love to play for Raheem Morris. No, you're going to play for Arthur Smith. No, the fuck I am. Like, the fuck I am. So, and I like what Raheem Morris said in his presser. I really do like what he said in his presser was, I'm not here to make promises. I'm not here to, do any of that stuff, but he, in his mind, he truly feels like they are one talented player away from turning this around. They are one, because he talked, somebody asked him about the quarterback situation and he goes, listen, the previous quarterback situation, that was here, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. And he truly feels like they lost a lot of close games, which they did. And if they had a better quarterback option, then I think they would be okay too. So I like his attitude about it. Now, Can he find the right one? Well, that's a little harder. That's a little harder. And it's not like they've been active in free agency like at all. Like like Geno Smith, Jeffrey Okuda, they left. Geno Smith went to Miami, Jeff Okuda went to Houston. They traded for Rondo Moore. They got Darnell Mooney. So now you kind of figured, well, now it's going to be Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Randall Moore, as your wide receiver core, which you hope one of them, steps up, like one of them becomes, the true person, And then they did something that I can't believe they did it. They did it. Those crazy sons of bitches did it. They signed Kirk Cousins to be their new quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Kirko is now the quarterback in Atlanta. And the NFL gods have presented us NFL memes 4 days. I mean, 4 days. Like it is like it's beautiful. I if you want a good laugh, just type in Atlanta, just type in Kirk Cousins Atlanta memes, and you'll see what I'm talking about, man. It's like it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. But I'm gonna ask you, Brandon, Kirk Cousins coming off an ACL injury. They gave him this. Okay, not that they gave it to him. The agent of Kirk Cousins persuaded to get Atlanta to give him this huge contract. Again, another big guaranteed deal for Kirk Cousins coming off an ACL injury. I wouldn't say he is on the wrong side of 30s. And the last time we could tell that he could play still, he can play. Is Kirk Cousins the answer for Atlanta?
For a season, yeah, I do believe he's the answer for a season. Now, for 3 seasons, probably not. I don't think that's a good idea to pay him 4 years for $100 million. That's kind of a little weird. Do I think he would be somewhat important in this season? Yeah. Depends on what you do with that offensive line. I mean, it's not a great offensive line. It's decent. It can hold up. But the thing about Kirk Cousins is he's not a runner. He's a play-action quarterback. So at any second, if they can't run the ball, which we've seen in Atlanta sometimes can't run the fucking ball, it can hurt the Atlanta Falcons offense.
But is that more the fact that Minnesota couldn't run the football? But now that they got Bijan Robinson, I mean, you got to admit, Bijan Robinson is a little bit more better than what Minnesota had, the last 2 years?
Yeah, well, yeah, but at the same time, again, you got to see how his coaching staff is going to look and how Zach Robinson is going to actually use him because it comes from the Rams. And yes, they ran the ball beautifully at the end of the season. But for the last couple of years, me and you both said, what the fuck is up with the Rams offense? They can't run the ball. What's going on? So it's just like, I expect them to be good, but at the same time, you're coming out with what's on ACL. Do I expect you to be great out the gate? No, I don't. I expect you to take your time, try to learn his offense. This isn't the same offense Kirk Cousins has ran. This is a new offense for him. So I don't know what this team is going to look like with that. Yes, does Atlanta seem like they should be able to win these games and win the NFC South? Of course. We said that shit last year too, and look how it turned out.
I mean, luckily for them, Carolina was just as bad, I mean, luckily for them.
Oh, don't get it twisted. Saints suck too, but
it's just, man, the Panthers just made, man. Oh, man, the Panthers. No, I feel a little conflicted with the signing when it comes to Atlanta or when it comes to Kirk Cousins. And the reason I say that is because forget the injury, right? Like, forget the injury. Forget the contracts, because that's what it is. It's just that's his market, right? Like, forget all that. In a weird way, in a weird way. The Atlanta Falcons have actually had more success in the playoffs recently than Kirk Cousins has. If you want to go there, I want to believe that he is the answer for Atlanta. Maybe not for the full term of his contract. Maybe not for the full term. Maybe a season or two. Maybe you have somebody waiting in the wings, and you go from there. I want to believe it. It's just one. We know how it is when Kirk Cousins opens up with a new system. It takes a minute. Atlanta doesn't have that type of time. Like you made this move to win. When Atlanta signed Kirk Cousins, they made it a statement that we are in win now mode and we haven't won anything. That's what scares me, I think, when it comes to Atlanta, is the fact that they're in win now mode and they don't have the team to win. Like, don't get me wrong. Can Drake London turn the corner? Is Rondell Moore's change of scenery? Can he be the receiver that we can expect him to be? Can Darnell Mooney move on from Justin Fields and adapt himself to Kirk Cousins now? I don't know. I don't know, because I understand where Zach Robinson's coming from. He's come from the Rams. But who's really calling the plays? You know what I mean? Like, I think, to me, with this staff, I like it. I think they're on the right path. Do I expect a big boomer bust season from them? No, not really. I expect them to at least show that they are willing to be a little bit more competitive than other years. I would like to believe that Kirk Cousins is the answer, but I know it's not going to happen year one. And if it doesn't happen year two, then you're looking at year three going, well, we're still on the hook for this guy. And you have to hope it works. I think for Atlanta, I think they just pushed it too far. I think they just said, we're going to bank on this guy. And I think this is the decision that Raheem Morris went in with. It's like, look, if we don't win with this guy, then you can fire me. He's banking his job that Kirk Cousins is a winner and wins. And I think that's what scares me the most, is that he's banking his job and possibly his last time as a head coach on Kirk Cousins. So I want it to work. It's just the fact that it's Kirk Cousins that I like. I always draft him in my fantasy team, in the 12th round, because he seems to always fall every year, so he's a good solid pickup, but is a franchise, we're talking about a man that's only won one playoff game, has had more embarrassing moments than wins. I hope he's right. That's the best way I can put it. I hope Raheem Morris is right. That's all. That's all my take on it. I mean, I just hope he's right, because I don't know. Because if it isn't, then we know where this is going. 2-3 years from now, we're going to see Atlanta with a whole new staff. If this signing does not work out, because you can ask Minnesota, you can ask Washington, when they did the signings for Kirk Cousins and when they tagged him, you banked on him to win you a lot of football games. Has he delivered? It's hard to say, right? Like, it's hard to say because, yeah, they've had wonderful regular season. Kirk Cousins has had a wonderful regular season. But then you get to the playoffs and you're like, wow, it's over. Like, it's just hard for me to, like, it's just, they have to have a plan in place in order for this to work.
We joked yesterday about how we chose, no matter what, we took Cincinnati out of Raiders against, the Tennessee Titans. We joked about that.
even like, I mean, the Giants are going to win, but to the fault of somebody.
Yeah, it's weird. But listen, I truly believe Atlanta just wants to win the division. If you think you're going to a Super Bowl with this dude, you are highly tripping. Like it's not happening. And I think you need to understand. Kirk Cousins is Dak Prescott. You can put everything around him, but when it's time for him to make that move, that play, that game, he ain't showing up. He ain't showing up. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. He's just not coming. And that's the thing. And I think Atlanta paid for a second round dismissal. You just paid for a second round dismissal. If you get the number one seed, if not, you're going for a wild card dismissal. I don't think that this team is great. Raheem Morris is doing an amazing job for what he's trying to build, but at the end of the day, I don't trust that Atlanta is good to win a playoff game.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Black Lion. It's Atlanta. I think Atlanta's booking it to where it's like this is the guy that's going to get us to go back to that's that year.
I don't think you have to.
But the thing is, you don't have Shanahan.
I don't think you have the weapons on offense like we think you do.
Yeah, even Instagram's agreeing with you.
Yeah. I don't think they have the weapons on offense. Like, I think outside of Bijan Robinson, that's the only one offensive weapon that I can be like, that's a guy that can actually play. But again, it goes to, do you trust Kyle Pitts? Because I don't. Do you trust Drake London? Because I don't. I know damn well Darnell Mooney's been in the league for what, 4 or 5 years now? When's he had a great season? This rookie year, and even then, that was kind of a little shaky.
That was kind of like a.
Yeah, it's like a little up and down. And Rondell Moore has been in the league for 2, 3 years now. And you are the one that got traded at Arizona. Arizona got way bigger problems than just you. You're the one that got traded? Come on. Like, yes, can an offense be good?
Arizona doubled down on taking a wide receiver with their 4th overall pick.
They were like, listen, we're going to lose Hollywood Brown. We're going to trade Rondell Moore. We're cool with drafting a receiver, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, cool.
We're doubling down, folks. We're doubling down.
I don't think Atlanta offensively is still good. And they still got Tyler Algier there as a running back too. So it's just like I don't think Atlanta offensively is equipped to handle a playoff. Now, can they win the NFC South? Of course they can. That's probably what the hell you paid them for to win the division. The problem is that's all the fuck you might do. And even in that sense, you might not even do that.
Because who's to say that Tampa Bay can't have a good draft? Who's to say that Carolina can't turn it around, round 2nd through 2 to 7? Who's to say that the Saints just keep reloading and shooting and hoping to get that one shot, right? Like it's like this. The NFC South has a lot of problems, but who's to say that one team just it clicks and it just it skyrockets, you know? And that's the thing, Black Lion. Like earlier in the show, we joked like you cannot have your safety being the number 1 tackler on your team. Like that's terrible. That's like wow. It's 10 bodies and Jesse Bates. Like I don't know where, but he's there somewhere. He's tackling. He's making interceptions. God bless him. He deserves a raise. But no, I think for me, I think when it comes to Atlanta, what we're looking at Atlanta is what we're looking at is problems that can be solved. It's just how quickly do you want to get them solved? Like which route do you want to go to get solved? Because they do have problems. Like let's be real. The Atlanta Falcons do have problems. And they're going to do everything they can to fix those problems. Now, am I saying that they're going to move from 8 to 3 or something? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I think for Raheem Morris, I think his best plan of attack at this point, every pick that they have is whoever is available, literally BPA. I mean, just get the best one.
You know what's crazy? I feel like that's been our talking point for Atlanta for the last like 4 or 5 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, no, what see, here's the thing. I'm more mad at the fact that it's like you didn't give up just one player. You passed on two in one draft, and then you passed up another two in the year before that. Now last year you got Bijan Robinson. Um, that's great. But the problem was Arthur Smith was too scared to use him. So I don't know what I know Zach Robinson's not going to be scared to use him. You know, so the way I see it for Atlanta, it should be best player available at this point. I think it has to be. I think it has to be. So, any last words, Brandon, before we make our selections here?
Not really. I just feel like, like we've been saying, Atlanta's got to be better at picking players, which their general manager has sucked at. They got
Well, he's gone now. He's gone now. Well, the old general manager is gone, so they brought in a new one. So we're gonna see how they coexist. They have to hit it. So they're gonna have to hit it. So whew, it's gonna be a lot, and I can't wait to see what you have at number 8 because I have a feeling I think I know where you're gonna go, but I'm excited to see where. I know you're not going kicker. I know you were kidding yesterday on last night's episode. I know you were kidding. You're not taking kicker, Brandon. How dare you? I will kick you out myself. I will kick you out myself. But no, I get it. Yeah, I know in some mock drafts they have them taking a receiver, and it's like if you really need a receiver, take one in the second or third round. They have way too many more issues than taking another receiver in the first round. Because then what you're really saying is we don't trust Drake London, we don't trust Darnell Mooney, and I know we tried it for Rondell Moore, but I just want to make sure we get her. Like, no, then you did all this for nothing. So I think I know where they're gonna go at. But Brendan, you're up first. So with the 8th pick in the draft, who do you have the Atlanta Falcons selected?
the 8th pick in 2024 NFL Draft. The Atlanta Falcons will select Dallas Turner, linebacker, Alabama. This is pretty obvious. You need to get a goddamn pass rusher. Redo what the fuck you didn't do. Since you're redoing coaching decisions, let's redo.
Let's redo.
Let's redo our lunch. Okay, Dallas Turner is here. Just take him. He's the best situation. Just take the damn man. Now, me personally, it's an up and down situation. I know Dallas Turner has been particularly perceived as the best linebacker, defensive player in the draft. Let me need a big Chop Robinson. You need Quinn Mitchell.
Hell, it could be Brian Murphy.
Brian Murphy from Texas. I mean, hell, Darius Robinson from Missouri. It could be any freaking
Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean. I mean, you name it.
It could be any freaking body, but I do believe it needs to be defense.
It needs to be something. Hell, I'll even throw in a dark horse there for you. The kid from UCLA. I mean, hell, why not?
I mean, I saw it throw they killed it. So I mean, listen, I would go there to Dallas Turner because he's been perceived as the guy to be number one drafted out of the defensive position no matter what. And what he accomplished at Alabama the last couple of years, particularly this last year, because I don't know who the fuck was on that defense outside of him and Kool-Aid. I have no idea else. I don't know who else was on that defense outside of him.
Well, what about Teron Arnold? He's pretty good.
I don't know why the hype is so big on him as a cornerback, but that's just maybe. But
Hey, he's out there. I'm just saying.
I mean, he's there. But Dallas Turner, I saw this man play against LSU these last couple of years, more so this last season. He wrecked the game a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, he wrecked the game a little bit. He did his thing. The little sports that they did have against that Michigan game, he definitely did his thing. And saying this for like the last drafts. We're like, I gave him Miles Murphy last year. I was like, just take a damn pass rush. You need help defensive. Get it. And they completely ignored it and ignored the player they took also. So it's just freaking ironic because you drafted 8 last year too, and now you're back at 8 this year. So I'm just saying, maybe you should fucking listen and go get defense. I'm just saying, it would work. It would probably behoove you to go get a defensive player right here.
Yeah, I mean, I like it too. I mean, I like the pick too. I actually like it so much that I actually went with Dallas Turner right here at number 8 too. It's we finally got one. We got one. We got one. All right, cool. We got one. It took 8 episodes, but we got one. We finally got one. Jeez, I told you this draft was not going to be the same as others, man. I knew it. No, I like Dallas Turner here. I think if you give Atlanta Dallas Turner, I think what you do is, like you mentioned, you're righting your wrongs. You know what I mean? Now, is Dallas Turner better than Michael Parsons as a draft prospect coming out? Probably not. No, but is he that much far off? No, he's there. It's just, Michael Parsons just had a little difference in him. He just had that little difference in him. And, for Dallas Turner, here's the deal. You could put him on the edge. You could put him as a defensive end. You could put him as a linebacker. And he's just strictly an edge. And we know he's going to get the ball carrier. He's going to get the ball carrier. And at 6'4", 242 pounds, that's a big man. That's a very, very big man. And his accolades speak for himself, Consensus All-American in 2023, SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Year 2023, and then first team All-SEC this year. And that's the thing. People always said, well, how's he going to handle now the fact that Will Anderson is gone and it's just him? He handled pretty well. 53 tackles, 10 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. So he handled very, very well. He did fine. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure if, the best thing that did happen is that Will Anderson was probably not there, because then he probably would have had more, So, look, I just think Dallas Turner here just fits for Atlanta. And I think it fits for what Raheem Morris is looking for. You get your true edge setter. Like, that's your edge setter. This is the guy that's going to set the tone. He's going to set the tone. He's a good football player. And I know he didn't participate in the combine. His pro day was, nothing like that. It's like, guys, like, again, when you have that type of talent, you don't need to do pro days. Okay. I'm not going to go into a whole spiel with this again. To me, I just think Dallas Turner would work with a Raheem Morris, would work with the defense that they are trying to run. Because, Raheem Morris, the type of defense he came from, or the type of defense that he built in his last job, was defensive, or the front seven just coming off the ball like that. And Dallas Turner does exactly that. He's just a quick step. It's first step, second the ball is snapped. So I think this is the type of dude. Yeah, and sure, you could put Chop Robinson in here. Sure, you could put, the kid from UCLA here. Sure, you can even draft Brian Murphy as a replacement for Grady Jarrett down the line. But I think you want immediate. I think you want somebody that is going to be like immediate, impactful player now. Like, we need this to work now. Not to say that Chop Robinson or the kid from UCLA can't work, but it's just like, he's done it. He's shown it. He proved it. Let's not make it harder on ourselves. So I'm going to go with Dallas Turner here as well. The edge rusher from Alabama. I just think he fits with what Raheem Morris is looking for. I think he'll fit perfectly on the shape of the Raheem Morris. So I like the pick. Like I said, that's why when you said Dallas Turner, I'm like, yeah, there's just no way. If Dallas Turner falls to them at 8, I just think you just got to take it. Just take them. Work with it, man. Work with it. And then just try your best there. So I got nothing. I mean, that's literally who I have too. So Dallas Turner, congratulations. Me and Brandon both think that you are destined for the Atlanta Falcons. So hey, so there you go. So there you go. Oh, Dallas Turner. Oh, Dallas Turner. And that's the thing. I know it's probably not like the coolest pick, or it's like, oh, this is such an obvious pick. Well, yeah, because you're Atlanta. You need the help. Again, when your safety leads the team in tackles, the Jesse Bates is like, y'all front seven better fucking figure it out. We drafted Dallas Turner. See, now that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you help me. I mean, sure, could Jesse Bates still lead the team in tackles next year because Dallas Turner is one guy? Sure. But at least he'll know, like, hey, I don't have to chase him at the, getting closer to, like, when he's already past the first down. Maybe I could stop him before he gets the first down or something. I don't know. I'm not a magician. I can't predict things, but I'm sure it'll make Jesse Bates' job just a little bit easier, is all I'm saying. So, Dallas Turner, congratulations. Me and Brandon both believe you are an Atlanta Falcon. So get to it, buddy. Start looking up properties for Atlanta. So that's where you're going, buddy. So enjoy it, love it, breathe it. And I hope I really hope you fit in that Raheem Morris system, which I know you will. But the fact that it's like, hey, we need you to actually like pick it up like the first year, I hope you can. That's a big ask. But congratulations to Dallas Turner. In our world, he is the new foundation piece for the defense for the Atlanta Falcons. So, hooray. That's going to do it for our episode today. As always, Brandon, it is a pleasure to talk to you today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you during this draft process. Tomorrow, the Chicago Bears are back on the clock again for their second of first rounders here that they have. This is their pick now. This is their pick. So we talked about Carolina on the very first video when we started this last week. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears now. And to say that they actually had a interesting offseason so far would kind of be an understatement. It would be kind of like an understatement. But overall, I'm going to be honest with you. I like what Chicago is doing. I think they're finally building something. And I can only imagine Justin Fields is like Denzel Washington from Training Day. Oh, you motherfuckers. Like, oh, you motherfuckers. But overall, I mean, now the funny thing is when I'm looking at the Chicago Bears, I'm already seeing like Montez Sweat's name, and it's like, didn't we just talk about him in the second one? Yeah. Yeah, like, didn't you guys talk about him in the Washington video? We did. He's back. He's back. Montez Sweat. But good for him, man. Good for him. Good for him. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Chicago Bears are on the right path. I think it's just pivotal on what they do on picks 1 and 9. If they hit that, I think the NFC North gets a little bit better. Well, unless you're the Vikings right now, I guess. And that's the thing, Jim fucked us and sent Allen to the Bears. We had Allen coming to Houston. Well, bud, it happens, man. It happens. There's nothing you can do. That's what it is. But overall, tomorrow it is the Chicago Bears, so we're going to talk about the Bears. Tomorrow, their season, their off season, the crazy twists and turns that have happened since then. I actually have to. I remember when I did the notes. There was a couple things that happened since then, so I had to go back and look at my notes again, just to make sure that I have everything correct tomorrow. But tomorrow's episode, I think, is going to be really good because I think tomorrow we're going to know a little bit more about ourselves tomorrow and see what the direction of the Chicago Bears we're looking at. So until then, It's always awesome talking to you guys. Have a great, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Brandon, thank you so much for joining in today. We will see you guys back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are looking on Instagram Live, it is at the Old Sports Talk Podcast. If you want to get on the YouTube page to leave us a comment or anything like that, it is on the Jack's Wild Sports Show. That'll be tomorrow. The Chicago Bears tomorrow, 6 p.m. We can't wait. And then I'll post our results here. So at least I only have to do one page on Instagram today. So it's like, yes, I can actually just choose one guy. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So until then, everybody have a wonderful night. Enjoy your Sunday. Brandon, thank you as always for joining me, my man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. And then we will go from there, my man. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Peace.